Hello, hi. Yes, thanks for asking. Um, we have perhaps at my university, the Hans Eisler School of Music, some special challenges because perhaps you know that Berlin has the claim poor and but sexy, and for decades, the government missed to spend money on technology investments, to invest money to support the development of infrastructure. So we have a lack of digital infrastructure in terms of Wi-Fi, in terms of devices, and we had to create a new world during the pandemic, during the period where we had to switch to remote desktops, we had to switch to distance learning, and we had nothing, more or less. So during this time, it was completely entering a new world. We had a lot of dynamic, a shift of mindset in terms of digitalization. A former rector once said, "We do classical music. We have nothing to do with technology or with digitalization." So this is a attitude, a mindset that I don't share. And in my opinion, digitalization is part of the world. We are part of the world. We have to deal with digital aspects that are more in the organizational field, but also in the artistical field, in the field of learning, in the field of teaching. So it's a 360-degree perspective. When you ask for transformation, it's on the one hand to build a reliable infrastructure is one point of our challenges. We have to readjust the structure. We have to deliver support for developing skills of our administrative staff as well as for our teachers, because they have to work with tools and with devices, and they more or less understood the value of this system. Let's say, for example, communication systems that we now use to get in contact, to deliver information. Um, a, Another big topic is IT security. We had, I think, 4 weeks ago, or let's say 6 weeks ago, a warning in terms of perhaps a happening cyber attack, and we were completely thrilled and scared, and we had no plans to deal with this. And asking the government that is our partner in developing strategies or concepts, they had neither any idea how to deal with cyber attacks. So, and perhaps this marks a general problem when we talk about transformation and digitalization. We are asked to become more active, to deliver concepts, to define a strategy for becoming more digital. On the other hand, we are completely lost and alone with development, with our digital development, because the governmental structure is not really competent in digital challenges as well. So when we are asked to deliver our transformation concept. And we asked back, what is the concept of the Ministry of Berlin? What are the tasks or the expectations? They have no answers for us, and they don't deliver any instructional help. Yeah. So we are on our own in a way. And this has effects because we have to develop skills, we have to develop a team with competences, with resources, with responsibility. And it takes time and money, obviously. And this is another challenge because the ministry during the pandemic gave us a lot of money to develop our infrastructure, but they gave us money only once, and not for in long-term perspective. They didn't raise the total amount for our support. They only invested once and thought, this is enough and fine. It took a long time to convince the financial responsibility or the financial deciders, so to say, that they have to give us more money because digitalization is a topic to stay and not to do once and then it's fine. So it's really a process of learning, of getting better, of developing skills, of creating models that last. This is from the perspective of perhaps more the administration. On the other hand, we saw that that our community suffered because of the high dynamic, the high pace of new inventions, new tools, and we observed that we lost some of our members of the university. So this is more the aspect of humans and machines. How does it work together? And how can we encourage people not to be scared, to embrace innovation, to embrace technology, and to use it for their use. So we had to care about how can we create more acceptance. How can we make transparent the processes? Who is in charge of what with which tool, and what does it mean to, for example, use digital platforms to document, to make a documentary of exams, for example. It's a big challenge for some of our members, and they need a lot of not only support. It's creating the mindset that part of their job is to take over a part of the responsibility of this new processes that are digital. So part of our strategy is to find solutions that are accessible, user-friendly, very simple, very clear value, a very clear positive effect on their work. Yes, and perhaps on the other hand, our teachers are completely overwhelmed of this digital world. I learned that that some of them don't want to have to do's, or they don't feel it's part of their world and their reality. And perhaps it's part of the truth that in their field we build structures around them because we can't force them. They are artists, perhaps from a former world, but we have to think about our curricula, what is needed, what are the skills that we have to train, and perhaps what can we do in addition. If we have, for example, a teacher in harp playing, and he's not interested because it's not in the field of interest or perception, to think about AI in arts. We can't force him. We can offer trainings to think about AI in arts and to think about what does it mean for harp playing in future, but we can't force them to have this reflected discussion. But we want the students to think about it. We need the students to think about it. We need to create the mindset that the world changes, and all these changes will affect their professional life, even if it's on the more self-marketing ticket, or if it's on stage, if it's when you are a composer, you have to be aware what is possible as a chance and what is perhaps a risk, and to make decisions for yourself is something that we have to train. And it's not only a question of digitalization. It's really about everything. It's more creating the right mindset of an open-minded, new art, a new image of an artist that is aware of the world around him. And technology, AI, whatever, is only a part of it. It's also about social responsibility. It's also about creating new spaces where music can happen. So digitalization is only one aspect, but really, really important to empower and to encourage our students to become a creative personality.